My number one competition is me. It's always you versus you. You have to work hard. Everybody in this room knows if it's worth something to you, you got to put in the effort. And I always like to say it's the work we put in when nobody's watching that really matters. You versus you. You got to be the one to get up every morning, be disciplined, put in the consistent daily hard work, because that gains success.
Because my old man taught me that, right? Got to work, get your ass in the gym and work.
How hard do I work? I work hard.
You have a insane schedule.
4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up. 4:30, 4:45, I'm doing some sort of cardio. It's still dark outside. I do this and then I'll have breakfast and then I will go gym for about an hour and then I'll go to set. Like, I'm gonna be the baddest motherfucker walking.
You gotta be the hardest workers in the room. And don't the opportunity up. What I have found is that when you take that kind of action, that kind of step of following your gut and your intuition, taking that step, whatever it is, the universe has a funny way of meeting you halfway. Just realize there's more and think more. Think for more. You don't have to be just this. Man, the work ethic, the drive, that hunger to compete, it never goes away. The person I compete with most is just me. It's you versus you. It's easy, I think, when you go to work, you got a lot of people around, you galvanize everybody, you could feel the momentum and the energy start to go. And not to oversimplify the work, but it leads to work begets work. So if we're all together in a room, we're gonna work, but it's the stuff you do on your own, away from everybody, really that matters. So you gotta put in the work. How hard do I work? I work hard. Everybody in this room knows if it's worth something to you, you got to put in the effort. When I wake up in the morning, I have got to be running towards the thing that I want to do and not walking towards it, not, oh, I really don't feel like doing this, or God, why did I agree to do this, or why did I get into this business with somebody at such, I got to be running to it. And I realized that if I'm able to do that, get up in the morning and run to it, then I'm in that place of joy and happiness. Doesn't mean that the work goes away, the work ethic goes away, you work even harder, but so I got to run towards it. So the second part to this, to answer you directly, is I don't know if there's anything that I could point to and say, I've never done that, therefore I want to do it. But I can tell you that what I do these days, I run to, I love. So what I realized is now it has to be the thing that I do, has to be the thing that I love to do, and therefore, almost like Hollywood conformed years ago, I found that if it's the thing I'm running to and I love to do, then everybody comes with me.
I know when I don't want to work out at midnight, well, that's when I have to work out at midnight. I'm glad I did. I came in here, pushed myself, pushed past the fatigue. But more importantly than the physicality part, I think, is just being able to come in here, set the edge, the psychological edge, and just recalibrate from a long day, think about what I'm doing tomorrow, what I want to do the next week, month, year, etc. So I would highly recommend to you guys of doing the daily consistent shit that you don't want to do, push past it, because there's so many people who aren't willing to do it at all.
To become one of one and to go for as many years as you've gone, and the highs and the lows and the losses and the injuries and the setbacks and all this other stuff that you go through, what drives you?
I can trace back my my work ethic to, we were evicted out of we had a little efficiency apartment in Hawaii, and we were evicted out of there, couldn't pay the rent. The rent was $280 a month. We eventually got kicked out. When we got kicked out, I was 15 years old. I'll never forget it. I was standing there at the door. There was not the padlock, but the notice. In that moment, I saw my mom crying, and because I'm a mama's boy, and that kind of pain really impacted me. And I thought then, I want to do everything that I can to make sure we never get evicted like this again, and make sure that she's never this upset again. I didn't even know what that meant at 15 years old. It just meant I have to work. I have to work. I have to do something with my own two hands. I love the competition. I love to win. And I also love to learn. I don't say lose, I say I love to learn. I reached this point in my career where I started to realize, oh, I've done pretty good, and we're sitting up top on this mountain. And I realized this happened, probably it was a big revelation for me about a year ago, where I thought, okay, I'm on top of this mountain. A few things can happen from here. I reached this point in my life. We could either stay here and enjoy the view and bask in it, or we could go back down the mountain, right off into the sunset. And I thought, well, the first two don't seem like it's in my DNA. I know what we should do. Let's go build more mountain. Not only let's go build more mountain, but the difference is, for me, is now bringing everybody with us to build more mountain as well. Ultimately, as we go along on the road of life, you become so uniquely focused, myopic on the thing that you want to attract and compete for and accomplish.
How was your relationship with Vince, and what things did you pick up from him, specifically with the relationship behind closed doors?
The relationship with Vince and I was a great relationship because it was based on I'm willing to work for every dollar. I'll tell you a story about Vince too as well that really helped expand the aperture of my brain in terms of business. But our relationship with Vince and I, it was about the work. I'm willing to put in the work, and I have a tremendous, boundless respect for the business of pro wrestling. That is so deeply important to him. That's his life, it's his world, it's his blood. And I grew up in the business of pro wrestling. My grandfather wrestled for Vince's dad in the 70s. My dad wrestled for Vince in the 80s. So I went into this with a tremendous amount of respect and reverence, willing to put in the work. Let's get to work. That competitive nature, that never goes away.
Do you think that is in you? Do you think that's maybe pops behind closed doors would say certain things to you that you remember? Do you think that's somebody offending you that you said, you're going to say that to me? Watch. What do you think that comes from? Like, is it duplicatable, or is it you either have it in your DNA or you don't?
I think there's versions of it that are duplicatable, and but we all go through our own journey and process. So there's something I think that we all can tap into that becomes our juice and our wiring. For me, you bring up my old man. My dad was a professional wrestler at a time when professional wrestling, I think, wasn't as globally renowned as it is today. My dad was paycheck to paycheck kind of guy, and when I decided to get into professional wrestling, we had the biggest fight about it. And ultimately he said, look, I'm not too sure if you have anything to offer. I mean, it got to that level.
How old are you at this time?
I was 22 years old, 23. And I understand what he meant in his limited capacity to love. He meant, look, I live in this little apartment in Tampa, right up the road, I-75. I don't want this life for you. I think there's more for you out there. And I said, yeah, but I got to follow my gut and my instinct. Along the road of life, we always have these moments that are seminal moments where somebody, sometimes it's a loved one like my old man, sometimes it's a friend, sometimes it's a boss, sometimes it's a stranger who says, you can't do it, you're not good enough, don't even try, pack your stuff and go home. Same thing happened to me in Hollywood. The most important thing is to be what I was and am and will be tomorrow, and that's real. And again, that's when everything starts to conform.